What's going on YouTube? It is Jeff Tuffner here on the Glorious Podcast with the Monday Night Raw September 25th, 2017 edition, the No Mercy Fallout show. And it put me to sleep once again. And you know what? The ending segment there with the Cruiserweights was pretty good, but everything else was awful. Everything else on the show tonight sucked. There were like two things I was like, all right, that small part there, that small part here. They were good. The Cruiserweight segment at the end, I liked that. Everything else sucked. It was awful. Other than that stuff. All right, let's just talk about the Cruiserweight segment because it's the only good thing I really enjoyed from the show. I was really pissed. Everybody was pissed. You know, when you see the Cruiserweights are going on last in this show, people were like, you got to be kidding me. And I was one of them. Everybody practically was. Like, they're really about to put the Cruiserweights on last. Like, have they ever done this before? I don't think they have. So I was losing my mind. I'm like, you know, at this show, like, it couldn't get any worse. You're going to put the Cruiserweights on last. At this point, in my mind, I was like, you know what they could do to save this show? Have Enzo Amore come out for a little celebration thing at the end of this show. And you know what would be the greatest thing to ever happen? The Bullet Club invades the show, comes out, attacks. That would have been great. With the Bullet Club being there and everything. And they were teasing it on Twitter, too. Oh, my God. They were teasing it on Twitter, too, right toward the end there that they were going to come out. No chance in hell it was going to happen, though, guys. As much as we wanted it to happen, you know what I mean? It would have been great. But as for the Cruiserweight segment, it was actually pretty good. Enzo and Neville said some really good things. They once again, another good promo. I've been loving these, like, the one thing I've been liking, actually, over the past few months with WWE is the promos when they kind of, like, go deep, say that kind of, like, backstage stuff that you don't expect to hear on TV. And once again, that was another case of that tonight. It's where, and it was almost a double turn. It almost felt like Enzo Amore went heel and the entire Cruiserweight division went face. That's what it felt like there for tonight. Of course, I don't think that's going to be like that in the long run. I don't know. I can't even tell if it's a heel turn for Enzo. It seemed like it was there. It seemed like there was a point where it's like, wow, Enzo's going heel here? And then they kind of steered it back toward where he was face toward the end. Then he was heel sort of again. It was like he was right in the middle. And then even Neville came out and it was like playing the face role, like talking, he was just dropping facts left and right. And then I'll give credit to Enzo. I'll give credit when credit's due. He said something about, like, the Cruiserweight's never being the main event until he's there. He's right. They've never even been on that hour until now. Unless you count 205 Live, I think that's on around 11 o'clock. But on Monday Night Raw, no, not until now. I think that was the first ever time the Cruiserweights actually, like, closed the show out. And it was actually a success, believe it or not. And it was the only success, really, actual, significant success on this show because everything else was shit. Everything else was awful. This Raw was just really bad. I got the one real good thing out of the way I wanted to talk about. Everything else, the other 1,000 things that happened on Monday Night Raw, were just awful. It was worse than usual. It was worse than usual here, guys. The show started with Miz TV, with Roman Reigns. They announced that last night at the No Mercy pay-per-view that it would start like this. And, it was just nothing special. Typical Miz TV, whatever. And then it led to them announcing Kurt Angle came out. He says, we're going to do Miz vs. Roman Reigns is one of the matches later to that night. And then they were going to do Bo Dallas and, Curtis Axel taking on Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. Obviously, Jeff Hardy was there, but he's hurt, so that sucks. I'm curious to see what Matt Hardy's going to do here with Jeff Hardy being out. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but they made it seem like he'd be out for at least a few months. So I don't know what the case for Matt Hardy is here. Are they just going to keep kind of like throwing him around? What if they put him in a tag team with Jason Jordan and then they actually like have a run for the titles? What are the chances of them doing that? I would not be surprised knowing how like weird the booking has been lately. If they just like, nothing's working for Jason Jordan, so you know what? Jeff Hardy's out. Matt Hardy doesn't have a partner. We don't know what to do with him either. So let's throw them together and make them a tag team for the next few months. That would be so WWE of them to do that. I would not be shocked at all if it did happen. But we did get Jason Jordan, Matt Hardy taking on the Miz Taraj. Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan picked up the win. So that was, boring tag team match. I don't have interest in it. Nothing to it. We go on to Elias versus Apollo Crews, a rematch of their pre-show match. Elias once again picks up the win, gets into it with Titus O'Neil after the match. Once again, nothing really to talk about here. Here's another one of the smaller parts of the show I liked. It wasn't like a major part, but, it was a few minutes of the show. Braun Strowman practically killing Kurt Hawkins on this show. Kurt Hawkins comes out talking about his losing streak, which I think, believe it or not, his losing streak, they could actually do something with it. Make it a minor storyline, actually, where it actually, like, turns into something. You remember last year when Heath Slater and Rhino had that little run where they were, like, real over, they won the titles and everything. It didn't last long because WWE kind of failed with it. It wasn't necessarily their faults, but it was they had a nice run. They were real over with the crowd. Heath Slater specifically, he got himself really over with the crowd. That whole free agent gimmick he played there right after the brand split, and then he got the tag team match. That storyline was amazing. One of my favorite storylines of last year in WWE. Now you have Kurt Hawkins. I think like you could maybe do something where you have him keep losing, but then you have him turn him face, where you get the fans to kind of go on his side, and to where you could actually get him into a match or something where it's like if he loses it, he has to leave the company or whatever, and then if he wins, he could stay or whatever. Get him into something. It could be like one thing for a pay-per-view. I know it's nothing big because it's like it's not going to be a long-term storyline. There's no way they could actually go anywhere long-term with this. But it could definitely, be something on Raw because, the fact that I'm even thinking about this is absurd because, that just shows how bad Raw is right now that I'm trying to think of something that would work. And it's just like that. That's how far out it is. It involves Kurt Hawkins. But Braun Strowman kills him. He throws him through the Tron up on the stage. And then Dean Ambrose takes on Braun Strowman in a match. Braun Strowman picks up the win. And they, while we're at it, let me announce that they said that Braun Strowman takes on Seth Rollins next week. Speaking of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and everybody, they were teasing that Shield reunion pretty hard tonight. They really were. The Miz and his match with Roman Reigns. Reigns picked up the win, but after the match, the Miz Taraj and the Miz attacked him. And there were at least 3 moments after that match, guys, that they really, you really would have thought, here come, when's Rollins and Ambrose going to come out? They're about to come out. I was just waiting for it to happen, waiting for them to come running down the ramp, waiting for the music to hit or whatever, through the crowd, wherever. So I was just waiting for it to happen, but they teased it so hard tonight, and we didn't get it. And then even at the end there, when they all did the little Shield pose there, the Miz Taraj to end that segment, it's going to happen, guys. It's no secret at this point. The Shield, they're going to do a reunion or whatever and have a match at the TLC pay-per-view. It's going to happen. And I was thinking, I don't really want to see the Shield versus the Miz Taraj. It's just not an exciting match. I think it would be a good match to maybe put on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Not even as a main event. That's how, disinterested I am in that match. It would be a good match to maybe put on maybe middle of Raw, beginning of Raw, or whatever. But, it's not really a pay-per-view worthy match. But then again, WWE is really having trouble selling their TLC tickets. And they're doing anything they can really right now to just get people to come to the show. So saying there's going to be a Shield reunion will get a ton of people to probably buy tickets. They're already advertising Asuka for that show. So that they're doing everything they can to try to get people to come out to the TLC pay-per-view. Speaking of tickets and stuff and crowd attendances, tonight I was thinking I knew that they were in a smaller arena tonight, not a usual, big arena. So I did a little research, pulled up the capacity of the arena they were in tonight. The capacity is a little over 11K. And then, you get the stage, they, cover up the backside of it. So I think people were saying it went down to about 9K or whatever. I noticed a lot of seats in the upper level blacked out as usual. This is not good because it's a small arena. If this were a bigger arena, it would be like, what's new? But the fact that it was in a smaller arena is not a good sign at all for WWE, that they're really having trouble selling tickets. They're having trouble because the product is boring. People are finally starting to say, you know what? It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth putting down, $80 or whatever to go out to the show. If you can get tickets cheap, why the hell not go out? It's usually funner when you're actually at the show, but, the product's just so bad. It's I can't even imagine actually being at the show tonight, sitting through 3 hours of this. This was just brutal tonight, watching this on TV. Attendance figures have been significantly down in WWE, and they better do something. They better stop doing the usual bringing back old faces or just, trying to put the Shield back together or doing whatever just to get people to come out to a specific show. What they need to do, the smart idea, and they're too lazy to do it, is start building up some new stars and get some compelling storylines that are going to make people want to come out to the show. Build up the pay-per-view. Build up the TLC pay-per-view to where people are like, oh, I got to go to this pay-per-view. That will get people to want to go. When you have these boring storylines that nobody wants to see, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a match or two that's good, just like the No Mercy pay-per-view. They built it around 2 matches. You know what I mean? Not many other people wanted to see the other matches, and the 2 matches they built it around weren't even that good. But that's Raw. That's how it goes over there on Raw. So, I don't know what to expect out of the TLC pay-per-view. The only good news about it is it's a TLC pay-per-view, so we're going to see some TLC matches and ladders and chairs and all that good stuff. Just like with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks. You get to see the Hell in a Cell match, so adds the, you had the gimmick match there, so that helps. It's not just a regular pay-per-view like No Mercy or whatever. So, I don't know. They just really need to start creating new stars because it's going to hurt them in the long run. It's hurting them significantly now, and it is going to hurt them badly in, say, 5 years or now if they can't start creating new stars. John Cena's days are almost numbered in WWE. I didn't actually see the part last night where he spoke on Raw Talk, but they showed it again tonight. So, yeah, it almost seems like Cena's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe this could be it for Cena. Like, this time next year, Cena might be done in WWE, believe it or not. Or at least a part-timer. Yes, he's sort of a part-timer now, but he's starting to kind of get to the point where he's actually going to pretty much say he's a part-timer. Like, that's what it seems like they're leading to here. I don't know, like, how he's going to go out, though. I would think the ideal thing would be to have a match at WrestleMania. That's how everyone should go out. A guy like John Cena's got to go out at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Not like, just a regular pay-per-view. So I'm sure we'll see Cena again. Probably Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble. Not at No Mercy. Not No Mercy. TLC, rather. You never know. He could come back to. You never know. We could see him on SmackDown tomorrow night. He could come back to SmackDown. Remember that he's a whole free agent gimmick now. So he could just show up on SmackDown and be like, "Oh, there's Cena." So who knows what's gonna happen with him? We'll see though. I bet we'll definitely see Cena again. This definitely isn't the last of John Cena. Another one of the things I liked on the show, Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. That little promo there they had, that was okay. You know what I mean? That and the Braun Strowman killing Kurt Hawkins. Those 2 things were okay. I don't know if we're going to get a Mickie James-Alexa Bliss feud. I'd certainly be down for that, believe it or not, because it's something different. It's not, it's not Alexa Bliss, Sasha, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Nia. We really actually haven't seen that feud, but it's something a little different. You know what I mean? Give it a try. Give it a try at this point because nothing's really working on Raw. Why not give it a try with a Mickie James-Alexa Bliss feud? So we'll see if that's actually where they end up going, but it seems like that is where they're actually going to go, so I'm in for it. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm definitely up for that feud. Seth Rollins, Sheamus, please just end this feud for once and all. I can't take it anymore. They have been just like ever since like before SummerSlam. Every week it's either Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, Sheamus. Dean Ambrose or Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Sheamus. Every week, and it's good matches and stuff, but it's just like we've seen. It's just move on to something else. And once again tonight, it was just Seth Rollins, Sheamus. Seth Rollins gets the win. It's just it's just brutal when they try to run the same stuff out. So I'm hoping that this feud is over and they don't try to run this into another match at the TLC pay-per-view. I don't think they are, though. I think it was just whatever tonight, lazy book, and they didn't feel like giving them a new feud just yet. Maybe they were actually going to think about it. We'll see next week, I guess. But Seth Rollins defeats Sheamus. Cesaro. So we all thought Cesaro's teeth fell out of his mouth last night. And then it turned out his teeth went up into his mouth. So that's even worse. So, hats off to Cesaro for actually staying in there in that match. That was crazy. His face was all busted up last night from that match with the tag team match at not TLC. I'm all over the place with pay-per-views. No Mercy. So, yeah. Goldust is heel again. He turned face for like a week, and he's heel again. He turned on Finn Balor, and I don't know if they're actually going to be doing this, but please don't tell me we're getting a Goldust Finn Balor feud. I'm sorry, but I love Finn Balor. I love Goldust too, but I just don't care for this, to be honest, guys. Is Finn Balor, like, do they really have nothing for him? They had that backstage interview where he said, he's going for the Universal title. And that's actually what I was reading the other day, that Finn Balor's supposedly next in line to take on Brock Lesnar for that title. Now, on paper, you look at that and you're like, that's the biggest mismatch ever. You know what I mean? Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar. I mean, I don't even expect Finn. There's no way in hell Finn Balor's going to beat Brock Lesnar. But, I mean, it could be it could be an interesting feud, you know what I mean? They could do, like, smaller guy, bigger guy, kind of build it up, you know what I mean? Like, kind of what they did with Rey Mysterio in the past. Where, when he would take on, like, The Undertaker and stuff like that. Build it up like that, where, you know what I mean? It's not like, you give him a chance or whatever. I don't know if we're getting that or what. I honestly don't even expect to see Brock Lesnar at TLC next month. I don't think we'll see him till Survivor Series at least. I'm looking forward to Survivor Series. I don't know what they're going to do this year. I wonder if they're going to run that like same style Raw vs. SmackDown thing like they did last year, or they're going to kind of just go back to a regular pay-per-view or whatever. I didn't mind that Raw vs. SmackDown thing last year, believe it or not. When they announced everything, I was kind of pissed, but after that show, I loved Survivor Series last year. One of my favorite matches to go back and watch on the network is that 5-on-5 elimination match. It's an hour plus long, but it is definitely worth the watch. And then, you stay about 2 minutes after that match, and you could watch the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match. That was a complete disaster. And Raw's in Denver next week. You never know, Goldberg could turn up. Remember what happened last year? Last thing we need is them bringing back Goldberg. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Vince did that, though. You know what I mean? Ratings up. You know what I mean? What else happened here? Oh, never mind. I don't know. I was talking about a Finn Balor Goldust feud. I completely forgot. I'm all off tonight, guys. The show was just a complete disaster. It led actually even worse than a Finn Balor Goldust feud. It looks like they're going to continue the Bray Wyatt Finn Balor feud. I completely forgot about this. The show was just so awful tonight. I'm losing my mind. After the match, Finn Balor won, and then Bray Wyatt, the lights went out, and it's just like, no, they're continuing this feud. I thought they were ending it. All the rumors said they were ending it, but it looks like they're going to try to run this out another pay-per-view. I couldn't stand to watch their match last night, and it was actually an okay match. So was their match at SummerSlam. The matches are actually okay, but unless they're going to do something significantly better for the build or whatever, I don't care for it right now. We'll see what happens. I can't really give a shit about another Bray Wyatt Finn Balor match. I didn't give a shit about it at No Mercy, and I really don't care for it now. More women's action. Well, that's actually the first women's match of the night here. Sasha and Bayley teaming up to take on Nia and Emma. Sasha and Bayley pick up the win. They were really teasing a Sasha heel turn backstage in that little segment she had with Bayley. I hope they turn her heel. I really do. I think it's time. It's time to change a little here. You know what I mean? You got Raw's women's division. It's gonna be a little stacked if that's how you want to put it. I mean, with Asuka coming and you got Sasha, Bayley, Nia, Emma. You got Mickie James, Alexa Bliss. I mean, hell, you got Dana Brooke, Alicia Fox still too, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of people in the Raw women's division. I mean, they should really send some people over to SmackDown. It's rumored SmackDown is getting Paige though, so that's huge. But I mean, there's a lot of people on Raw. They need to turn Sasha heel though. I mean, I feel like she's been face for a while now, ever since she's come up to the main roster, really, or kind of after, like almost at least a year now, really since WrestleMania 32, she's been face. So I feel like you know what I mean. It's time to turn her heel. She's significantly better. She's not bad as a face. She's really good as a heel though. I mean, just go back and watch what she did in NXT as a heel. Some of the most amazing work I've ever seen. So if they turn her heel again, it could work out very well. So hopefully that's coming in the coming weeks. I mean, it looked like they might do it even tonight. But then, same old stuff. Sasha and Bayley pick up the win. They hug it out at the end, and then they cut to commercial. So, I don't know. I guess they realized tonight was just such an awful night. They weren't going to try to do anything, crazy or whatever. And then, like I said, we already covered the Cruiserweight segment, the really only good segment overall of the night. I think that's basically everything on the show I've covered. Rating out of 10. Rating out of 10 for this show. Oh, God. 4. I'll give it a 4. I was actually going to say 3.5 there, but I'm like, I'll be nice. I'll be nice tonight. It was bad. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going with 3.5. 3.5 out of 10 for tonight, guys. It was that bad. The Cruiserweight segment was good. Mickie James, Alexa, that little promo was good. And then Braun Strowman killing Kurt Hawkins. These were the 3 things I liked. Add them all up. It's, not much. One's only a full segment. The other ones were 5 minutes combined. So that's not good for a 3-hour plus show. I feel like that's the case every week. Some weeks there's a little bit more I like. And very rarely do I enjoy the entirety of the show. So that's it, though, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw in the comment section below. Let me know if you actually liked Raw. I don't know how you could have possibly enjoyed the show tonight. But I couldn't stand it tonight. It was just it went right after No Mercy. It just felt like it belonged right after. It wasn't going to be good tonight. Keeping my fingers crossed next week's good. Hopefully SmackDown's good tomorrow. SmackDown's definitely going to be better. I don't think there's a debate there. You know what I mean? SmackDown doesn't have to be great to be better than Raw. Raw is just abysmal at this point. But that's it, though. Leave a like, subscribe. Go follow me all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All the links will be listed in the description as always. And I will see you tomorrow right here on the Glorious Podcast.